Hello, I'm Michelle and welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining me for class today. So today we have a Vinyasa style class, so we'll be doing a lot of movement, a lot of flowing. We will start the class with a little bit of grounding and warming up, and then we'll go through our primary flow and finish up with some final relaxation at the end. As with any yoga class, you do you, right? So if something isn't feeling right in your body, if, you're nursing an injury or something just doesn't feel good, please back out. Yoga is meant to be challenging, right? We want to push our bodies, but it's not necessarily meant to be painful. So you want to have that balance between that effort and ease within each of the postures. So with that said, again, respect your body and we will get started. So we're going to start out on our backs today. So coming into a nice supine position, laying on our backs like in Savasana. Have your legs come out to the wide edges of the mat, arms away from the body, palms facing up, and let the feet fall out to the sides. If for some reason laying on your back gives you a little bit of tension, you can use a bolster and just place it underneath the knees just to take off a little bit of the pressure in the low back. So just take a moment to settle in. Starting to be present. Feeling the air on your skin. Noticing where your body is in contact with the mat beneath you. Listening to different sounds that may be happening in the distance. And just tuning in, being here, now, in the present moment. And then taking a moment to tune into the breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the chest. And you can either stay in this position if you like, or if you'd like to place one hand on the body, one hand on the chest, or one hand on the belly rather, one hand on the chest. And just notice the breath. Feel the chest expand with every inhale. And feel the belly button come back into the spine with each exhale. And while you tune into the breath, maybe taking a moment to set an intention for class today. What you'd like to take with you into the rest of your day. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest. If you have a bolster, you can move it out of your way. And just bring the knees into the chest. And just start to move the knees in circles beginning in one direction and then moving in the other direction. Feeling that nice massage on the low back. And the next time you come around to the chest, just give yourself a nice squeeze. Hold on to that right knee, extend the left leg out long, extend your right arm out to the side, grab onto the knee with the left hand, and just as you breathe out, twist to the left. And then as you breathe in, bring everything back through center. And we're just going to continue with that rotation. Just starting to bring some movement into the spine. As you breathe out, twisting. As you breathe in, unwinding. Let's do that one more time. The next time the knee comes into the center, bring the left knee to meet the right, extend the right leg out long, and we're just going to switch sides. Breathing out as you twist. Breathing in as the knee comes up. We'll do that 2 more times. And then after your last one, we'll bring the knees into the chest, give ourselves another squeeze, and then we're going to set up for some dynamic bridges. So what you want to do is have your heels close enough to your glutes that your fingertips can touch them. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Make sure both feet and knees are parallel. And then we're going to take a nice big deep breath in, push the floor away, squeeze the glutes, and bring the arms up overhead. As you breathe out, slowly bring everything back down. Breathe in, extend, breathe out, come down. We'll do that 2 more times, flowing with your own breath rhythm. And these can be baby bridges or just warming up. After your last one, bring everything back down. Bring the knees in again for just a short squeeze. Grab underneath the knees, and then we're going to do some rocking and rolling. So start to rock and roll, massaging out the entire length of the back. And then come to almost a seat. We're going to do some supported boats with toe touches. So roll those shoulders back and down, belly button into the spine. You can have a slight bend in the knees, and we're going to do our toe touches. 1, 2, 3, chest is up. 4, tuck the chin. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. You can bring everything down, cross over the legs, and just come into a tabletop position. So coming into tabletop, we want our wrists underneath the shoulders, knees are going to be underneath the hips, and we're going to just do some cat-cows. So taking a breath in, shining the chest forward, looking up, breathing out, push the floor away, look toward the knees, and just follow your own breath rhythm here. And watch the shoulders. We want to keep them down and away from the ears. It can be very common. You might see it with me. I have really tight shoulders. To hike them up a little bit. So just try to relax here. And then if you like, you can get some other movement into the hips. You can start to rotate in the hips, making some circles. First going in one direction, and then the other. You do you, so if you prefer to do those cat-cows, you prefer to do some twists, whatever you feel like you need to warm up the spine. And then coming to stillness, we're going to come into our tabletop again, preparing for bird dog crunches. So take a breath in, extend the right arm, left leg, breathe out, knee to elbow. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, knee to elbow. 2 more. After your last one, bring everything down and switch sides. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, knee to elbow. Last one. And breathe in, reach, and bring everything back down. Tuck the toes, come into your first downward facing dog. Bend the knees as much as you need here. You're going to see that even with my own posture, I am really, really tight, especially in my back and in my hamstrings and in my calves. So it's a lot easier for me to push through my hands and have really bent knees here, because you want to get a nice stretch in that back, right along the side body, along the lat muscles. And just pedal out the feet here. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe shake the head back and forth, nice and slow. And when you're ready, just look between the hands and you can step, walk, or float to the front of the mat, coming into a hanging forward fold. So again, you can really bend the knees a little bit here. Make sure that the feet are right underneath the hips. You're letting the head hang. You're just kind of being a rag doll here, so you can kind of sway side to side. Maybe bend into one knee, then into the other. Just warming up the hamstrings. You can grab onto the elbows, whatever's comfortable for you. And then with slightly bent knees, just come on up to standing into our Tadasana. Roll the shoulders down. Tuck that tailbone. Pull the belly button into the spine. And just feel all the points and the bottoms of the feet in contact with the mat. Really feel how grounded you are with your feet into the mat. We're just going to do a couple of sun salutations here. We'll do 2 classical, and then we'll do 1 sun A. So take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out with a nice flat back, come forward fold. Plant the hands, step the left foot back with a nice big step. Bring the back knee down. Plant the hands, right foot meets the left. Downward facing dog. Again, nice bent knees. Holding the breath for a moment, bring the knees down, chest and chin, hugging in with the elbows, and scooging forward, breathing into cobra. Tuck the back toes, push through the hands, breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, left foot between the hands, back knee comes down. Right foot meets the left, forward fold. Breathe in, reverse swan dive. Breathe out, hands to heart center, other side. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, swan dive forward. Plant the hands, right foot back this time, nice big step. Knee comes down. You want a nice line from the heel to the knee. Left foot meets the right, downward dog. Breath retention, knees, chest and chin, hugging with the elbows. Breathing into cobra. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Breathe in, right foot comes through the hands, knee comes down. Left foot meets the right, forward fold. Breathe in, reverse swan dive. Breathe out, hands to heart center. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, swan dive forward. Breathe into a flat back. Breathe out, plant the hands. Step back into plank this time. Now you have the option of knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga, so nice low push up. Breathing into either your upward dog or cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. And we're going to hang in this downward dog for just a few moments. Taking a few breaths here. Breathe in, kick the right leg back behind you. Bend and peel open. And just feel that nice stretch in the hip. You can rotate the knee in one direction and then the other direction. Maybe do some circles with the ankle. And then straighten out, square off the hips. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, right knee to right elbow. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out, left knee to left elbow. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out, knee to nose. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out, start to come towards the nose, and then plant the foot between the hands, coming up into your crescent. And maybe, don't fall over or anything. It's okay. So holding on in our crescent, and then we'll do some 90-90 pulses. So you want to bend into the back knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back up. Bring the arms into a cactus. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, hinge forward, elbows together. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, elbows. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, elbows. Last time, breathe in, open up. Breathe out, elbows. Breathe in, open up, then bring the hands to the sides. Come forward into your arrowhead and hold. Shining the chest forward, watching that front knee, making sure that it's not going inward. Breathe in, come back up into crescent. Breathe out, hinge forward, shine the chest, arrowhead. Breathe into crescent. Breathe out, hinge forward, arrowhead. Breathe in, crescent. Step the left foot to meet the right, come into your chair. So you want to sink the hips down, tuck that pelvis, belly button comes into the spine. You should be seeing the front toes. or the toes. As you breathe out, bring the hands to heart center and twist to the right. Watching the knees, you don't want this to come back. So you want to stay with that twist. I don't have a lot of range of motion here, so I can only go so far. It's something you have to work on. After your out breath, breathe in, unwind. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe into a flat back. Breathe out, plant the hands, step back into plank. Chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Breathe in, upward dog or cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, kick the left leg back behind you. Bend and peel open. And then just, again, rotate the knee, open up the hips. And then maybe go in the opposite direction. Same thing, circle the ankle one way, circle the ankle the other way. Square off the hips. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Left knee to left elbow. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out. Left knee to right elbow. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out. Knee to nose. Breathe in, kick it back. Breathe out, bring the knee towards the nose. Breathe in, plant the foot between the hands, come up into crescent. We'll do those 90-90s again. So hands up above, shoulders down and away from the ears. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to our crescent. Cactus the arms, tuck that tailbone, take a breath in, breathe out, hinge forward, elbows, breathe in, reach, breathe out, hinge, elbows, breathe in, cactus, breathe out, elbows, last time, breathe in, cactus, breathe out, hands come by the side, come into your arrowhead, breathe into your crescent, breathe out, arrowhead, breathe in, crescent, breathe out, arrowhead, breathe in, crescent, then step the right foot to meet the left, come into your chair. Hands to heart center, breathe out, twist to the left rather. Again, watching that those knees are in line. Breathe in, unwind. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe into a halfway lift. Breathe out, plant the hands, step back into plank. And again, either knees, chest, and chin. So knees, chest, and chin, or you can go through your chaturanga into upward facing dog or cobra. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Breathe in, kick the right leg back behind you. Breathe out, bring the foot between the hands. Come up into your crescent. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Twist to the right. Take a breath in and a breath out. Flip the front palm. Bring it back to a revolved crescent. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, unwind and come into your crescent. Take a breath in and a breath out. Unwind. Warrior two. So that back foot, and I'll come this way, so that back foot should be parallel to the back of the mat. You want to make sure that you're up nice and tall, shoulders are away from the ears, knees not coming in. You're gazing over the front fingertips. Bring the hands to the back of the head, keeping that, again, belly button tucked. I'm always going to say that. Take a breath in, breathe out, side bend to the right. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, side bend to the left. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, side bend to the right. Breathe in, come up. Last time. Side bend to the left. Breathe in, come up. Open up the arms into your warrior two. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Breathe out. Unwind. Straighten the front knee. Flip both hands. Gentle warrior. And then we're going to grab onto the front wrist while we're in this gentle warrior. Start to come off the front toes. Hinge a little bit back. Pull that arm back as you keep the pelvis nice and tucked. And we're in our sky archer. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, plant that foot back down. Bring the arms out nice and straight. We're still on that straight front knee. And then begin to kick the left hip back. Reach, 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 reach. Coming into triangle. Now, if you have a block, you can bring a block underneath the hand here to really open up the spine. Then breathe in, come up, keeping that front knee straight. Bring the hands to the hips and just bring both feet so that we're facing the edge of the mat. Toes are in, heels are out. Take a breath in, reach up, breathe out, hinge forward, nice flat back. Forward fold. We're just holding this forward fold. Again, you can use blocks here. You can plant the hands right on your blocks. And begin to walk the hands back toward the front of your mat, coming into a low lunge. Plant the hands, step the right foot to meet the left. We'll flow through our vinyasa. So chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Breathing into upward dog or cobra. Breathing out, downward facing dog. So again, I'm going to switch sides, but staying in our downward dog. Two more breaths. Breathe in, kick the left leg behind you, breathe out, bring that foot between the hands, come up into your crescent. Take a breath in, and then breathe out, twist to the left. Again, watching that front knee, flip the front palm, bring it back into a revolved crescent. After your in-breath, breathe out, unwind, Breathe in, coming back into your crescent. Breathe out, spin open, coming into your warrior two, watching those shoulders. Back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Gazing over that front palm. Bringing the hands to the back of the head. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, come up. 2 more. Breathe in, open up. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Keeping that front knee bent, it can be common to want to unbend it. After your in-breath, breathe out, come back into your warrior two. Straighten the front knee. Flip both palms, come into gentle warrior. Then as you're in your gentle warrior, we're going to set up for our sky archer. So you're just going to grab onto that front wrist with the right hand, come off of the front toes, begin to pull that front arm back, come off the toes again. And then as you breathe out, begin to bring the foot back down to the floor. Keep that front knee straight. And then reach forward, taking that right foot back, coming into your triangle. Really opening up the chest, extending the arm high. And again, using a block here if you need one. Breathe in, using the core, come on up, keep that front knee straight, hands onto the hips. Just bring the front foot in so that the toes are in, heels are out. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, flat back, come forward, forward fold. Again, if you need a little bit more length here, you can put blocks underneath the hands. Using the right hand, grab onto the right ankle. Take the left hand, place the fingertips in front of the right toes. Again, use a block if you need to bring the ground a little bit closer. The other thing to watch for is it's very common for our hips to want to go in this direction. So just take that left hip, really work on pulling it back. Again, feeling that belly button always into the spine where we can. Just holding, letting the head hang. I have very tight hips, so for me, it's very common for me to want to do that. So I have to be mindful. And if that's something that is an issue for you, just want to watch that. And then slowly unwind, just walk the fingers to the other side, left hand to left ankle, right fingertips in front of the toes, again using a block where we need it, and just making sure that that back hip, that right hip is back. We're twisting with the torso, but not with the hips. Relaxing into it if you can. And then slowly beginning to unwind, coming forward into a low lunge, planting the hands, stepping back into plank, and then flowing through your vinyasa. So again, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin, Coming forward into upward dog or cobra, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Holding this downward dog for a few breaths. Breathe in, kick the right leg behind you. Breathe out, bring that foot between the hands. Plant the back foot down at a 45-degree angle. Bring the arms up with you, coming into your warrior one. So it's like our crescent, but we're on our heel. Bring the arms behind you. You can either grab onto the elbows, you can bring your hands into prayer, or you can clasp the hands, roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Take a breath in, belly button into the spine. As you breathe out, come forward into our humble warrior. So you're going to take that right elbow, or right shoulder rather, bring it toward the right knee. And you don't have to bring the arms up overhead like I am. You can keep everything onto the back if that's more comfortable for you. I just love how this feels on my upper back and shoulders. But like I said, do you. And then slowly, with control, using that back foot as a kickstand, breathe in, bring the arms up overhead. You're back in your warrior one. Straighten that front knee. Kind of close your stance a little bit. Make sure those hip points are all facing forward. And then we're going to go into our pyramid. So breathe in, and then breathe out, hinge forward, nice flat back. And you're going to forward fold over that front leg. Now you can have a micro bend in that knee if you need. I actually traditionally need blocks here. My fault for not having them out with me. But I always recommend having blocks if you can. We're all shaped differently. But it's always good to have your hip points facing down here and not stretching too much into the hamstrings. You don't want, again, you don't want huge pain. You want effort, not pain, not sharp pain. Now, starting to prepare for a standing split, if you have blocks, I would put them about 3 inches in front of you. Place the hands about 3 inches in front of you. Start to come off of the back toes, coming into your standing split. Now, the thing with the standing split is you want your hip points facing down. You want them even. You want a nice flat back, which I may not have here because I don't have my blocks. And then slowly, with control, come down onto the ball of the back toes into your crescent. Sticking with a little bit of balance here, as you bring your arms to the side as if you're going to go into your arrowhead, start to come off the back toes into airplane. And I'm shaking like a leaf, but it's okay. You can always kind of kickstand it, put your foot down, really try to get that back foot up. And then slowly, with control, come back into your crescent. Take a breath in, take a breath out, frame the toes, come into your low lunge. Right foot meets the left. Go through your version of your Vinyasa. Ending in your downward dog. Holding downward dog for a few breaths. Breathe in, kick the left leg back behind you. Breathe out, bring the foot between the hands. Plant that back foot down. Breathe in. We're in our warrior one again. Bring those arms back behind you. Again, your version, whichever you like. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then start to hinge forward. Left elbow, or shoulder, I keep wanting to say elbow. Left shoulder into the left knee. Always watching the core. Breathe in. Come back up without falling over. Coming into that warrior one, straightening the front knee, closing your stance a little bit, and then starting to hinge forward into your pyramid. So, and you may have more tightness on one side than the other. This is my particularly tight side. You can see I'm tenting my fingers here because I know that I really should be using blocks. I have a little bit of a bend in that front knee, trying to keep a flat back as much as I can. And then beginning to set up for that standing split, we want to just walk our hands about 3 inches in front of us. If you have blocks, you want to bring them in front of you, and then start to come off of the back foot, balancing on that front foot. Hip points should be facing down as we lift the leg, belly button into the spine, roll the shoulders down. You really want that flat back. And then with control, slight bend in the front knee, bring the ball of the back foot down, come back up into your crescent. Watching that my knee just went like this. You want to make sure that those knees are over your heels and that you're not dumping into the back. The more tired you are, the more you might see yourself doing that. So really put your mind on each of those pieces of your body so that you can make sure to control it, but with ease. It becomes more natural as you go. Now we're going to come into an airplane. So we're going to go as if we're going to go into that arrowhead, start to come off the back foot, balancing on the front. And then slowly with control, back down onto your crescent. We're almost to the floor. We're getting there. Take a breath in, breathe out, hinge forward, plant the hands into your runner's lunge. Left foot meets the right, flow through your vinyasa. So chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Upward dog or cobra, finishing in downward dog. Breathe in, kick the right leg back behind you. Breathe out, right foot between the hands. Bring the back knee down. Anjaneyasana. Watching that you're not dumping into the low back, your belly button is into the spine. Breathe out, hinge forward, frame the foot, tuck the back toes. So now we're in that runner's lunge. And we're going to unwind while bringing this foot to meet our back foot so that we can come into a side plank. So I promise you, it's easier done than said. So I want you to plant that left hand, twist open into side plank. And you can either have your feet crossed, you can stack the feet, or bring the knee down, totally fine. Eventually, we are actually going to bring that knee down. So we're in our side plank. Now bring the knee down, plant that foot, that right foot, and then slowly, with control, you might need to use your fingertips a little bit. We're going to come up into gate. So you want to look a little bit more graceful than that, but shoulders are always down. Bring that hand, right hand down the leg and reach over with the left. And then cartwheel the arms, coming to a tabletop. Tuck the toes, back in our down dog. Breathe in, kick the left leg behind you. Breathe out, foot between the hands, knee comes down. Anjaneyasana. Breathe out, hinge forward, tuck the back toes, put most of the weight on your right, and then start to bring the left foot to meet the right, opening up into your side plank and your version of side plank. You might be shaky, that's okay. And bring that right knee down, plant the left foot. See, this side feels a little bit better than my other side. And then start to, using the core, come up into your gate. Sliding the hand down. Really open up with the chest. And then cartwheel the arms, coming into a table. Open up the knees, big toes touch, sink the hips down onto the heels. Extend the arms out long and come into your child. And if you need a sip of water, now is a wonderful time. Small sips though, we really don't want to drink or eat a ton around doing yoga. So again, in our child, feeling the breath as you breathe in, opening up the upper back. And the ribs knitting back together as you breathe out. And then, as much as we'd love to hang out in our child's pose, let's come up into a tabletop. So we're in our table, wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to do some wrist stretches. We did a lot of movement on our hands today, and that can really bug the wrists if you have issues there. So I'm going to take the hands, face the fingertips toward the body, and then start to bring the hips back as far as you feel comfortable. You can kind of rock a little tiny bit. This should feel really good in the hands, in the tops of the hands, just as much as the wrists. Then bring the hands to the sides, and you're just going to kind of gently rock one way, and then rock the other way. And then the last thing we'll do here, we'll bring the hands. Now this can be kind of intense for some people, so if this really hurts, don't do it. It's totally fine. But if you can flip the hands over, just gently, this is basically as far as I can go. That's it. I cannot push back as far as I could with my hands the other direction. You might also notice that your elbows and your shoulders start to bend funny. So, you know, you do you, be gentle. And then just sink back onto the hips and just shake it out a little bit. Maybe rotate the hips a little, or not the hips, the wrists a little. Just, again, be gentle. We did a lot on the hands today. So this will be one of the last things we do on the hands, but we're gonna thread the needle. So back into that tabletop, take a breath in, begin to twist open, and then breathe out. Bring that hand underneath the arm, rest the right ear and head on the floor. And you can either keep that left hand planted in front of the face, or you can bring it behind you. Try to get a little bit more of an opening in the chest and in the back. Just watch that the hips don't start rocking. Or you can also extend that arm in front of you and really try to roll that shoulder into your back pocket. Really depends on what you need today. You might feel a nice big stretch in your armpit here if you're doing the extension with the hand. We'll take a couple more breaths here. After your next out breath, just take that left hand wherever it is. Make sure it's planted in front of the face. Use it to push yourself back up into that table, and we're just going to switch sides. So taking that left hand, breathe in, open up. This is my tight side, so it's really difficult for me to open very much. And then breathe out. Thread it through, either leaving this hand here, or you can open up, bring your right hand toward your left hip crease, or extend that arm out long and just watch the hips. I personally have a tendency to rock a little bit, so I'm very aware that I do that. So just watch that you're not trying to move with that hand, that right hand. And just use this time to settle, focus on the breath. Notice how different this side feels than the other. Then taking that right hand, placing it in front of you, push yourself back up into that tabletop. You might want to just rock a little bit, just to loosen things up a little. And then we're going to come into Sphinx. This is one of my favorite postures. So you're going to come all the way down onto the belly. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. And you want to make sure that all 10 toes are in contact with the mat. So elbows are underneath the shoulders. You have your fingers spread out wide underneath. Roll the shoulders back and down. Energetically pull your elbows toward your hips. And I promise, when you're doing this, it makes sense. And then as you shine your chest forward, watch the head and neck. It can be very easy to go like this. So tuck that chin a little bit. Pretend that you have a golf ball there that you're trying to hold. And I invite you to close your eyes. If you've got a lot of pressure in that low back, just squeeze the glutes a little bit. It'll take some of that pressure off. Let's take one more complete breath. So inhale and exhale. And then bring everything down. Bring the hands out in front of you like a pillow. We'll come into our crocodile and just rest an ear or the side of your face on your hands, using your hands like a pillow. And if you're feeling a lot of tension in the low back, you can bring the heels toward the glutes. You don't have to do this, but just windshield wiper a little bit. Nice and gently. Again, you do you. Take breaks when you need to. Move when you need to. When we talk about yoga, we talk about it as a practice. So we're never perfect. We're always improving. We're not comparing. And then, as much as we'd love to stay in our crocodile, we're going to come up, push up into that tabletop. Just briefly though, we're going to set up for our puppy. So for puppy, you want to have your knees under your hips, just like in table, but we're going to have our arms very much like in child's pose. So be gentle with yourself. You just want to start to extend the arms out long. Bring the chest and the forehead toward the mat. So if you can imagine, we're in that playful puppy position. This can feel intense for some. This is actually pretty intense for me. I have old shoulder injuries, so it can be really, really intense. Some people, if they like this, can have blocks under their hands and get a little deeper. But you do you. I can feel this plenty in my shoulders. And then gently come out of that puppy. I usually come a little bit forward. And then we're going to come into a seat. And we'll do a seated twist. So coming into a seat in your time, right? So take the time to get into it. That puppy pose, as I said, is kind of intense for some. So you can either, when we're doing our seated twist, you can either have that right heel toward the left glute, or you can extend it out long, your right leg out long, cross your left leg over, or, you know, if this is where you are, that's okay too. I personally love putting my heel back because it gives me an extra hip stretch. The important thing to remember is you want both hip points to stay in contact with the mat. So take a nice big deep breath in, reach that right arm over, and you can either cross or hold and twist to your left. Watching that right shoulder, I just hiked up my shoulder, so you want to keep that right shoulder back and down as well. Bringing the belly button into the spine. As you breathe in, you're extending through the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, maybe twisting a little bit more. Might be a micro twist. After your next out breath, breathe in, unwind, and we're just going to switch sides. So again, you can either extend that left leg, bring the foot over or to the side, and if you like a little bit of an extra hip stretch, bring that heel toward the glute. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe and reach with that left arm. And either hold on to the knee or cross the elbow over. Breathing in, sitting up a little bit taller. Breathing out, twisting a little bit more. After your next out breath, breathe in, unwind, and then we're going to set up for a Baddha Konasana or cobbler pose, whatever you want to call it. We're going to bring the feet together. Again, you, as I said, you do you. So if you need to have the feet a little bit more in front, or you want the heels to be a little bit closer to you, you go within your own range of motion. So we're just going to sit in this butterfly or cobbler, or whatever you want to call it, pose, sitting up tall, keeping the spine straight, tucking that pelvis slightly. And then if you like and you want to, rest the elbows onto the knees, you can. And you can either stay here, or something that I love to do is I actually bring my feet out a little bit more. It feels really good after some of that low back stuff we did. And I take my hands, my arms. Now, not everybody will have this range of motion, but if you can bring your elbows and your forearms underneath your legs and then open up the feet like a book. And again, nice flat back, but then start to just rest the head toward the feet. And hopefully you don't have smelly feet. That would not be fun. But this feels really nice. It kind of stretches out the low back a little bit more. And it, in my opinion anyway, it blocks out the rest of the world. I think this is a great posture when you just want to tune in, when you want to be a little more centered and just calm the body. It feels really good in the hips. It's in my opinion, it's gentle. And you have the ability to move the feet further away from your body as much as you need to. So we'll do one last sitting posture. So we'll bring the legs out nice and long. Actually, I'm going to go this way so you can see how I do that. So we'll bring the legs out nice and long. Make sure that both hip points are in contact with the floor. Sometimes I just kind of adjust a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down and away. Breathe in, reach the arms up overhead. Breathe out and just begin to come down. You can bend the knees as much as you need, but we're just in a nice forward fold. So if, you don't have to grab the feet. Not everybody can grab the feet. That's fine. If you can grab the feet, I like to grab the edges of my feet because it keeps me from kind of turning out, and I feel like I can control the stretch a little bit more. And then similar to the cobbler pose that we were just in, I have a similar, really relaxing way of doing this. You can bend your knees a lot here if you want to, or just stay in your forward fold. Bring the arms underneath, grab onto the elbows, and just let the knees rest on. And then let the head hang. And this feels really nice. It's kind of like you're putting yourself in a ball, tuning out the rest of the world. Sometimes I feel like I could stay in this posture for a really long time. Feels good on the low back. You don't have as much tension as in the seated forward fold as is. But always in any forward fold type posture, same thing with downward dog, bend the knees. You do not need to push through at all. You want to be comfortable and work toward that flexibility. It can be really easy to pull a muscle that way. And then whichever posture you're in, just slowly come on out of it. We're going to make our way to our back. We only have 3 more postures, including our Savasana, so hooray. So just slowly with control, come onto your back. We're just going to do some figure 4. So bring the heels close to the glutes. Cross that right ankle over the left knee. Weave those hands underneath the left knee. You can grab underneath and then just pull the knee toward the chest and using your right elbow to push against the right thigh and flex both feet. And I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Keeping your breath even, so even inhales with even exhales, meaning the amount of time that you inhale is the same as your exhale. And then bring that left foot back down. Bring the right foot to meet the left, and we're just going to cross over, switch sides, weaving those fingers through. You can grab onto the shin if you like. I like grabbing under the knee. I used to like grabbing on the shin, but I feel like when I grab under the knee, I have more control over pushing my elbow into my left thigh, really getting that hip stretch. And then again, as always, flex those feet, roll those shoulders down. And bring that right foot down. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Just bring the feet out to the wide edges of the mat. Let your knees fall together. And then just kind of just gentle rocking side to side. Again, gentle. And then we'll go into our happy baby. So to get into happy baby, you can either use peace fingers or you can grab onto various parts. So with peace fingers, you want to take your peace fingers, grab onto your big toe of each foot, and then just pull those knees toward the armpits. You can also grab onto the outsides of the feet. Again, same thing, pulling the knees into the armpits. If this is grabbing onto these areas is tough, you can grab onto anywhere that's comfortable. So if under the knees is more comfortable for you and you want to kind of just let them rest here and just have a gentle stretch, that's okay. You do what's comfortable for you. But in your happy baby, you can stay still or you can rock. You can straighten one leg or straighten the other or straighten both. You do you. I feel like a broken record, but do whatever is comfortable. And while we're in our happy baby, if for some reason there's another posture that you prefer, maybe another inversion like a legs up the wall or a shoulder stand, this is a great time to do it before we head into our Savasana. We'll hang in our happy baby for about 4 breaths here. And after your next out breath, just slowly guide the knees together. Give the knees a nice squeeze. And then just bring the feet to the earth and slowly extend the legs out long, just like we started in the beginning. Bringing the feet to the wide edges of the mat, rolling the shoulders back and down, bringing the arms away from the body, palms facing up. And if you have low back issues and you want to bring a bolster like we used in the beginning underneath the knees and just let them rest, you can also use a foam roller, that works too, or a couple pillows. And just start to settle the breath, softening everything into the mat. And if it's comfortable for you to close the eyes, you can close the eyes, or just have a nice soft gaze at the ceiling. Beginning to relax all the muscles of the body, relaxing toes, the bottoms of the feet, and the tops of the feet. Relaxing the ankles, feeling relaxation travel up the shins and the calves, over the knees, and into the upper thighs. Relaxing the pelvis and the low back. Feeling relaxation travel up the torso, up the entire length of the spine, and into all the larger muscles of the back, and the chest, and the abdomen. Relaxing the shoulders, the upper arms, the forearms, and the hands. Feeling relaxation travel through each individual finger. Relaxing the scalp, the forehead, the temples, softening the eyes, relaxing the jaw, and allowing the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth, and just melting into the floor for your Savasana. You can stay here as long as you like. You can pause the video. But if you plan to follow along, just begin to deepen the breath. No need to make any sudden movements. Just beginning to bring your awareness back into the room. Feeling the air on your skin. Noticing distant sounds. Feeling your body in contact with the mat. Beginning to make just subtle movements, maybe wiggling fingers or toes. Shaking the head gently side to side. And in your own time, just taking a nice big deep breath, reaching the arms up over the head. Maybe bringing those feet together and pointing the toes for a nice full body stretch. And then rolling over onto one side, resting your head in the crook of your arm. Then using that top hand to push yourself up into a seat. Bringing hands to prayer at the forehead. May you have peace in your thoughts. Hands to lips. Peace in your words. Hands to heart. Peace in your heart. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.